The Joe Dispenza, Evolve Your Brain, Chapter 11. Subchapter, The Road Ahead. Take it away, read aloud on Word. And let's discuss it as we go along. Please share any insights you have in the comments. I've moved my face so I can see my read aloud.
Dear Joe Dispenza, Evolve Your Brain. Chapter 11. The Road Ahead.
Yes, the road ahead, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Mental rehearsal.
By firm intention and by quieting the rest of the brain, we can become more astute at observing ourselves. We can better identify our tendencies and weaknesses. Once we've become more adept at self-observation, we can start to ask the larger questions. We can employ this executive in our head to deal with larger scale, longer-term problems, instead of focusing solely on satisfying the immediate needs of our body and our emotional addictions.
Okay. So on mental rehearsal, by the firm intention, by quieting the rest of our brain, we can become more astute at observing ourselves. So we can identify, we can identify tendencies and weaknesses during the mental rehearsal process. Once we become more adept at self-observation, observing ourselves, start to ask some bigger questions, Then we can apply that executive in our head, frontal lobe, to deal with larger scale, longer term problems. And I'll just get dealt with when we have clarity, when we are more quiet in the mind of the business, and our constant worry and concern, the mind just goes quiet, and the director, the executive, Dr. Joe Butts here, takes over, which then we can deal with the longer term problems instead of focusing on satisfying the immediate needs. Our survival tendencies. We're taking that mind out of the body. We're feeling peaceful. We're feeling like our needs are met, to allow that frontal lobe to take stage. So body's at. So we're no longer thinking about our temperature of body, what we've eaten, how old we are, how much money we have, how many likes we've got today. We're taking all of that, we're quieting all of that down. So that's the first part. That's basically a summary of that. So let's continue. Where were we? Instead of focusing on our satisfying the immediate needs of our body and our addictions. Yeah, there again.
We can use mental rehearsal to prepare ourselves for the tougher tasks ahead. Although, like an architect, we can build a model of the dream house we envision as our new self, the true test comes when we actually bring the ideal to fruition and expose it to the elements of the real world.
So we can summarize, we can talk a great game, we've got to walk the walk. is what we're saying there. That's a true test when our eyes are open. And when we're sensing things with our eyes, ears, mouth, nose, and senses, when we come back to the identity that we think we are.
The brain will always follow the lead of the mind's design by building new struts and footings. I will talk about this more advanced stage of mind in chapter 12.
Yeah, chapter 12, so we're not in that.
For now, we simply need to realize that our work isn't done when we've begun to use mental rehearsal.
Okay. So mental rehearsal is the base point, right?
Choosing to break free of the routine of living in survival mode and creating a new self are not easy tasks.
Tell me about it.
It is so much easier to live in a reactive, rather than proactive, manner.
So yeah, I'd agree with that. It's easy to react than proact.
We are so adept and practiced at using those hardwired routines that are a combination of our inheritance and our experiences.
Yeah, inheritance and experiences, familiarity, combinations of those. Easy to do that.
For so long, we've actively avoided new experiences and gained little new knowledge.
Yeah. Lived in the same house 40 years, same job 20 years, been around the same people for 20 years, complaining about the same problems for 20 years. And we become so adept at being in that environment and having the same experiences.
When the foundation of our life is rocked by something calamitous, or if we manage to step out of the fog of our own repetitive nature and our own desire for routine, we can set out to discover new things about ourselves.
So yeah, this is feels good actually that Dr. Joe here is offering us to step outside our routine, explore and have adventures and learn new things. As I myself, I love that.
Examining who we are, who we want to be, where we are, and where we want to be. To change.
Yeah, so when we're not seeing the same people at the same time and the same things, we adapt. We're adapting to naturally have to adapt to a new environment.
Is to break the habit of being yourself. You are being asked to commit to finding a quiet spot where you can spend, at minimum, an hour a day maintaining that idealized vision of yourself in your mind.
So committing 1 hour a day, quiet spot.
You are being asked to sever the umbilical cord that connects you to your environment and to the rush of chemicals to which we all have become so addicted.
And that's the uncomfortable part. It's uncomfortable to cut that. So many people are uncomfortable cutting that umbilical cord.
You are being asked to sit still and release yourself from the overactive, overstimulated,
sit still, overacted,
highly stressed, and ultimately soul-killing and body-destroying life that you may have allowed to take control over you.
Oh no, overacted, overreactive, overstimulated, or highly stressed. Ring any bells? We're being asked to divorce that.
Mental rehearsal asks of you to make clear your intention to the universe by mentally practicing what your new and improved self will be like. When you
just like finger exercises, I've done a video about that.
You bring into reality
mentally rehearsing, basically thinking, using thought alone to bring a new reality. It's true, it's been researched. Listen to the finger exercise
vision you've created.
Video.
What you receive in return will far exceed the sacrifices you have to make. The clarity of that vision and the depth of your commitment.
So 1 hour a day, 1 hour a day. He's offering that Dr. Joe's offering here that it's going to be worthwhile.
Will ultimately pay off in ways that you have just begun to imagine.
It's going to pay off in ways that you never
You can
imagined.
move from a state of survival to the state of creation
State of survival into state of creation.
just by changing your thinking.
Just by changing your thinking. Nothing to do. Nothing to do, just changing our thinking. Don't need to go anywhere. Don't need to move anywhere. Don't need to move any boxes. Going on any programs. Eat a certain type of food. Eat a certain diet. Do a certain job. Be with certain people. Be at a certain place. It's just changing your thinking. You can do it anywhere. Just need a quiet spot, 1 hour a day commitment. That's all we're asking.
In chapter 12, we will finalize our study when we explore
Finalize.
what
Finalize.
neuroscience has to say about thinking, doing, and being.
Thinking, doing, being in the next chapter.
When we learn to enter a state of being, our mind and body are one, and all the gears are set in motion to have change be a permanent state of mind and body. That is evolution.
And that is evolution. Going from thinking to being to doing. Evolution. Let's summarize that last sentence. Let's think about that. When we learn to enter a state of being, our mind and body are one. Our mind and body are one. When we enter that state of being. And all the gears are set in motion to have change be a permanent state of mind, body. That is evolution. Put that in bold. Gears are in motion. So yeah, we're 1 hour a day. Peace. Pulling umbilical cord, cutting the umbilical cord to your distressed, overstimulated, overreactive self. Yeah, so that's the chapter 11. The road ahead from Evolve Your Brain by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Let me know if you've got any insights or thoughts around this chapter, if you resonate with any of it, and what actions you're going to take after this. Please let me know. Please like, subscribe, share it around. And yeah, it's clear here. It's not just about mental rehearsal. This is just the start of it. Our work's not done there. This is just the road ahead. We're setting it up by just spending that 1 hour thinking about who we want to be, rather than rushing around in the morning, pressing that snooze button. Yeah. Okay. Is it possible? Is it possible to awaken an hour earlier than you normally do, to think about a new future? Understanding that your thoughts can change reality. What you think about who you're being and what you're doing are all correlated to a new future. And the gears are in motion. And that's where change begins, and that's evolution. And then you do it often enough, repetitively enough, then it just becomes natural. Change just becomes easy. But as Dr. Joe mentions, at first, when we're disconnecting from the old self, it's a challenge, because we're just used to those familiar stimulus, the same people at the same place at the same time. and we're just craving that, craving that same feeling that we think that we define as us, but it's not us. Who do you want to be?